Thank you. Trying to make me cry before I even start talking. I was gonna bring hang on, buddy. He's excited. Fletcher is super excited to be here. I got the whole fam here today. I got all the kids. In case you haven't seen any of them roaming around, I got Max, the oldest here. Lucy, Riley, and young little Fletch over here. So Fletcher's excited, so I know I'm gonna get a lot of hand signals from you today. Okay? But eat the Skittles, you're good. Keeps them quiet for like 5 minutes. What the fuck? Anyway, I just a couple of self-disclosures. So I have a really tough time like retaining information that I read or write. So I have a guide because I don't want to forget some things that I want to say. Some of them are my own quotes that I have to read because I already forgot them. And then I want to just make sure I don't forget the order of things. So if you see me looking, I'm not texting. Or, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning today, and I'm like, we ordered bakery 10 days ago, and there were a lot less RSVPs. We're going to run out of food. So I went to Dunkin' Donuts at 5 a.m. Got some donuts anyway. All right, so let's get in. All right. This is it. This is the day. 51 years I have been crafting the story I'm going to share. 51 years, people. And my kids, look at them. They're like, oh, God. Old. He's old. I'm not old. I'm vintage. Vintage. So, a couple of thank yous. Newski from my heart. I know he's around here somewhere. That song means so much, as I said. And thanks for him for being part of this special moment here. The CreativeMornings crew, they're all over. They're all over this place. They make sure this happens. Thank you. Family, thank you. Thank you for being here. We're not going to cry today. But here's the funny thing, 51 years, and I'm about to share some things with you. And I have to walk around my house muttering to myself, don't you know I know shit? Don't you know they're so fiercely independent and amazing kids? But sometimes I have to remind them I can help with stuff. Cool. And then you alluded, but Paul, where's Paul? Omeg, Paul, scream. You're up next. You're up next. Paul is where? He's like the tallest guy in the place. Paul and Kate over there, who started this in Milwaukee, and now that version 2.0 is up and running. We acknowledge this would not be happening if it wasn't for the efforts of these people pulling it together. And so, yes, thank you. You can clap. Go ahead. And lastly, I had a really good crew at my first company. We've somehow found a way to create like team magic at this cafe, and I have to acknowledge Elijah, Genevieve, Andy. Hey, Elijah, stop. These three right here are part of the three of the crew. Elijah, Genevieve, and Andy, to make this happen every day. We could not do this without them. We simply could not. We ran out of espresso, and Eli ran to get espresso. No one noticed. So thank you. And then I guess I lied. One more. I have to thank Wantable. This space would not be here if it weren't for Wantable and the vision of the leadership team to bring this community, as my wife said, her cafe now, to bring this community together. This space was built for moments like this. Awesome. Thank you, Wantable. They've been great to work with. And so my wife kept encouraging me. The other day, Tuesday, well, anyway, we got our liquor license this week. I was gonna be the first speaker. I'm probably the oldest ever, but I was gonna be the first speaker to have a cocktail at a Creative Mornings talk. I didn't. She's my speaker spotter. She's like, I look over there. She's like, don't say that. I can see it coming. But the other day, I was getting ready to go to the Common Council meeting, and I'm like, she's like, what's going on? We're having coffee in the kitchen, and she said, and I said, it's time to go battle. Time to do this. She goes, this is not a battle for you. This is an adventure. This is what you do. This is where you recharge. So get out there and make more things happen. Yes, in the kitchen. She was barely awake, but she was there. So, here's what I want you to, that was for this. She encouraged me to think about what I would like all of you to walk away with, including you, Fletcher. What I would like all of you to walk away with, and it's this. We all have some thing in our head, in our experiences around mentorship and what it means, and what it looks like, and what it feels like. I hope you walk away seeing maybe a slightly different view of that. I don't know how to cue up the slides if we're going through. Oh, it's you? What is next? Oh, okay, cool. All right, so I'm skipping. Oh, where's Sammer? Sammer's here. Love you. I love that guy. I watched him last week. So Sammer was actually here in the cafe for something last week, and he goes, and you were one of many, but you were the first to ask this, which is, are you nervous? Are you nervous about next week? And I'm like, shit, should I be nervous? And I wasn't quite nervous about all of you being here. I'm more nervous about forgetting important things. But what he reminded me of, and others since then, is this like struggle creatives have around nervousness, fitting in, feeling different. And so I've been doing a little studying. One of the best movies you can watch around this, in my opinion, is Good Will Hunting. Has anyone seen it? Yeah, right on. The other thing to watch is Elizabeth Gilbert's TED Talk. Yeah. And Elizabeth Gilbert says kind of like this at some point, why as a creative are we given or feel or somehow experience that nervousness or worry for the thing we feel like we were put on this earth to do? So I am nervous, but you inspired me last month to feel a little bit less nervous. So, but let's think about that as we walk through this talk. So yes, we're in the cafe. Oh wait, someone in the same things in the same event said, "Hey, you look less tired than normal." I'm like, what the fuck? Like what? So I waited. I paused. She said, and they said, yeah. I mean, you look happy. You look happier than I've ever seen you. And I said, well, look around. I'm in my space. I'm doing the thing I want to do in the best way to do it, in my opinion, professionally ever. And I get to see people like you. And so I can't tell you what it means to me to have you all in this space. So where did it all kind of start, this bringing people together stuff, the mentoring stuff, the guiding, coaching? In 2007-ish, I was leaving an agency and had kind of collected, as I started in corporate, a few really super cool creative people in my life. And I was trying to think of a way, and this is 2007, people. This is way back in the history, right? In the vintage era, the early vintage. So I asked a lot of these people, 30, 40, 50 people, if I started a meetup around creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, would you come? You know what they said? Of course I'll come. So I did. The first month, 4 people showed up. The second month, 2 people showed up. I was on pace to be at 0 in my 3rd month. And so a friend of mine said, dude, anyone has a life or a house, they're not coming here to the Milwaukee Public Market on a warm Saturday morning, summer in Milwaukee. So I said, okay, let's switch it to Wednesdays, move it to botanas, margaritas, blended, and it took off. It took off. So there's a lesson in there somewhere. It eventually became the largest meetup on those topics in the state. And I have to point out, some of you are standing around some tables right here. Maybe you've saw them when you came in, all the drawings. There was a point where I took what we had from the meetup and spun a company out of it, an agency called Sprinkler. God, I just saw Kate's reaction to that. Damn it. Sprinkler was a design tech agency that hired college students, sometimes high school students, accelerated what they were learning in school, got them connected in Milwaukee, and helped them realize their creative path. We were the first, or one of the first. We were ahead of Milwaukee when Ian was running it. Ian's right back here. We were first to move into the Grand Ave Mall before it was cool to move into the Grand Ave Mall. We moved into first an old Express store, but we changed that space for something else, and then into a Lane Bryant store. We had whiteboards on every wall where there used to be clothing. Those are old merch tables from Lane Bryant. They were blank. Our team, they wouldn't always let me, but our team would sit around and have creative meetings, creative discussions, and draw. And so there's a lot of history on those tables, not just of Sprinkler, but like where these there's one of, who was Michael Serta was the dominant illustrator on those tables. Now I was corrected the other day, I thought 2-time Grammy winner. So these tables were on their way out of the mall during demolition for the apartments. Guess who stopped them? My wife. Fletcher wasn't even, you weren't around, buddy, I'm sorry. Fletcher, you weren't around. My wife saw them, grabbed the tables, took them to her office. They've been in my basement for 6 years. These kids used to do their slime in glitter, and they were like, I came down one day, and I'm like, what did you do to these tables? I couldn't even see some of the illustrations. That's when I go muttering again around the house. These fucking tables. I don't even know what these tables mean. These kids don't do anything around here. I gotta clean up all this slime. Anyway, we kept them in the basement for 6 years, and now they're gonna be here displaying merch in our cafe. So that's cool. Okay, a couple of highlights from Sprinkler. We were on the next one, I think. I gotta tell you who's like, this is Sam Hogerton's here, right back here, SRH Marketing, right in the back. Yeah. That's me, bro. Kate's back here. She's right over here. I'm not naming the others for any reason. They're just not here right now that I know of. If they are, shout. I gave a talk to a group somewhere during Sprinkler, and Dick Leinenkugel, who was the Secretary of Commerce for the state, invited us to Madison to meet his team. So we were playing Frisbee before this, like in the parking lot somewhere. We all went to meet what is the Commerce group called? Commerce group? Department of Commerce. Important people. They invited us, a bunch of kids, out to talk about how we built Sprinkler, how we nurture talent, how we support each other, how we built this community. And what I learned after was there were only 2 times in Dick Leinenkugel's tenure that his whole team came together for a meeting. One of those times was when Harley was threatening or talking about moving jobs out, and they needed like major whatever to stop that. The other time was when Sprinkler came to Madison. So a couple more highlights. Anyone remember Zappos? Now owned by Amazon. We were one of 5, this group of kids, one of 5 agencies from around the world invited to Zappos headquarters to pitch for agency of record. Now, Las Vegas, young college kids, what do? You spend almost your last dollar in the business bank account and you fly them all out to Las Vegas to make that pitch because there's no way you can do that over the phone or whatever Zoom was back then. Skype. No, we're not doing that. There's another photo I couldn't find where we're walking across the street after the meeting and they're hopping around and smiling and laughing and I'm just like, holy shit, we have no money left. I got to take the red eye home and figure this out. But it was worth it when we look at where all of these people are today. So I'll go quickly through a couple others. I was through my work with Sprinkler and all the stuff I've talked about, I was part of a team that co-founded the state's first ever seed incubator for tech startups. It was Sprinkler Talent Labs, morphed into 94 labs, somehow became Generator. I'm sure maybe that last one is what you all have heard about. Part of a team that launched innovation in Milwaukee, or Mike. It was like M with a small I-K-E, Mike, innovation, Milwaukee, anyway. I met Jeff Ganger in that express store because we had an incubator running there. He was the first person to join the incubator. He and I shared the largest office in downtown Milwaukee, an entire express store. One day when I was bored, I started a startup meetup. And like 6 months in, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I got too much stuff going on. Happens still today. So I handed this thing. I said, Matt, can you please help me with this? Can you take this? And Matt Cordio took that and created Startup Milwaukee, a very impactful organization in our community. And so I thought mentoring meant giving. Turns out you get a lot from it. Someone's calling and I'm trying to work through this, damn. So the impact is huge for me in my experience through Sprinkler and this community in the city. Ivan is back here. Ivan walked up to me once, Sprinkler meetup, right? Lost. Not lost, he knew where he was, but lost, kind of like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to work. I don't know what to focus on. Maybe it wasn't that dire, but being dramatic. And I said something, what did I say? About service to others. And I may have said something about UX, user experience stuff. And Ivan took that and built this amazing career. And the coolest thing is, the other day he walks me to the back of the cafe. I gotta show you something, Steve. And it's this, I don't even know, it's like this scientific node system or anonymous texting stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And then it didn't matter. What mattered is he actioned on all of that he passed me. And he was giving back to me that day, which is awesome. And I see these kids that used to draw on that table, they roll up in their fancy, expensive cars. And I had a Honda Odyssey at the time. It was not good. But I want to touch on this real quick. Kate Pochask did a little bit of research on around people who were either employees of Sprinkler or maybe key participants in the meetup, around a lot, maybe too much, to kind of map out this impact. What is it? We didn't even know. And so there's a couple of things I want to, because I know no one can read this. Don't even tell me you can read this. But I want to point out a couple things. In addition to this cool map I'm going to talk about, Sprinkler was also responsible for a number of marriages and kids. Not necessarily in that order, maybe. I don't know. But a few notable alum, in my opinion. Brennan Staling, who is now, he used to hang around a lot, our offices everywhere, poking around at people's laptops and talking about iOS and all this, all this technical stuff. He's now a senior software engineer at Apple. Esther Crawford, she used to hang out at our meetups. She's a good friend. We all go to AJ Bombers sometimes too, which is, now it's gonna be gone, Mark. She launched a startup called Squad and was eventually bought by Twitter. And there are a number of articles you can find of her sleeping on the floor while she was working for Elon Musk. And then she eventually pieced out on all that. Annie Richmond, this kid from Marquette, social innovation. She ends up heading up innovation at Starbucks, working closely with Howard Schultz. And my favorite, because he doesn't text me anymore, Ryan Graves used to take me to lunch to ask me what it's like to start a company. He was Uber's first employee. When Uber launched in Milwaukee, Ryan called me and said, "Steve, we need some help. We're launching Uber in Milwaukee." I'm like, my first question was like, why Milwaukee? Dude, I thought you were like Chicago, New York, Paris, all this. No, Steve, this is an important city for us. We're launching in Milwaukee. Can we use your offices? The Lane Bryant store. I said, Ryan, of course you can. You're my friend. The next couple days, our office was filled with boxes of iPhones and drivers down as far as you could see, signing people up. If I would have asked for a 0.5% equity at that moment, I may not be here right now. But there are many successes from Sprinkler, of course, and they're in this room today. Wait, go back. Kate's research included comments from people. I'm not reading all the comments, but I did put all the comments into AI to tell me the summary. And so I'll read that. Sprinkler served as a launch pad for countless creatives and entrepreneurs. This is AI talking, okay? So this next line. Thanks to Steve's ability to bring the right people together at the right time, he fostered a culture of connection and formal mentorship that helped others find collaborators, spark new ventures, and grow into leaders. AI still talking. Steve's real gift was creating a space where people could discover what they were capable of and who they could become. Media loved us too. A few cover stories on what we were doing. I was featured as 10 people who are changing Milwaukee, a sprinkler system for the new Milwaukee, people of influence and entrepreneurship. A Grand Ideas article where it said, led with, Steve Glynn, the founder of Milwaukee-based Sprinkler, is bringing new life to Milwaukee's collective, risk-taking entrepreneurial spirit. He has successfully launched multiple initiatives to support startup companies and provide opportunity to young talent and to corporations to collaborate. With people in this room, we grew Sprinkler from zero, a sketch, to $1 million company that I sold in 2014. So, a successful exit, or was it a successful exit? For a long time after I wondered why people were so, like, some people are pissed about Sprinkler. Some people are hurt. Like, there was so much passion around it. And I have some answers, and I know, like, maybe some of them thought, will I ever have a creative endeavor like this again? And maybe that led to some of that. Did Steve sold the company? Did he abandon the mission? I don't know if there's thoughts around that, but it's real. The passion and the fervor for this is real. And so, it all sounds like rainbows and butterflies and success and media and great trips to Madison. It was some of that. But Sprinkler took a toll. Building something from 0 to 5 years is hard, no matter what you're doing. I can't even imagine at larger scale. This is where it gets tough for me. So, all that stuff is fine. But the end of Sprinkler was the end of my first marriage. It was tough. That was the hardest part for me because of what I'm going to explain in a couple seconds. But I didn't want to fail as a dad. I don't know if I did or not, but we'll take a survey at the end. It wasn't all rainbows and butterflies. We're going to get to this slide eventually. You can keep on whatever you want up there. So I grew up in the projects on the south side. Any Southsiders in here? Hell yeah. Single parent, low-income household. My dad was in prison my whole life. I was probably more likely to end up in a gang or selling drugs or dead or in prison like my dad. Certainly not on this stage. And so here's some highlights. I shared the highlights of Sprinkler, the people and the accomplishments. Here are some highlights growing up. I used to get beat up every day on the way home from school in elementary school. So I had to learn how to take different ways home. I had to learn how to look around every corner before I made my next move, and then run my ass off the last 90 yards to my front door. Funny thing, last week in therapy, what joke starts like that? Last week in therapy, unprompted, my therapist said, you know what, Steve? You have this uncanny way of solving problems. You're able to see around corners. Anyway, I got beat up a lot for that shit. I used to just coming home, I'd get my bike stolen or my skateboard or whatever. I come like empty-handed, I'm showing up. And we didn't have money to replace that. Buddy, you okay? You tired? Okay. I used to come home from school and look in the fridge. All we had was government cheese, a big block of government cheese. And if we were lucky, we had food stamps to go get some defined items. Anyone ever have to shop with food stamps? Most colorful money you'll ever see in your life. And people look at you in line, kids look at you in line when you're paying with food stamps. And they make comments. They talk. I remember one time in high school, I got home, and there was a truck outside. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. My door was open. There were sheriffs inside. They were moving our stuff out. we were getting evicted. Got a little behind on the rent. So I called my mom, like they're moving our stuff out to our, like, I don't even know who these people are. She calls back, rushes home, frantically on the phone with whoever this guy was, begging for us to be able to stay. Meanwhile, my sister and I are trying to move our stuff into our own special section on the front lawn that wasn't going to go in a truck. We had no idea where the hell it was going to end up. She somehow convinced him to give us more time. They threw all our shit on the front yard. We had to bring it in. So, we got through it. Obviously, I ended up here. We got through it. And I finally figured out how to get through college. And when I was graduating, it was a great economy, and everyone's getting a job in my class. Like $55,000 in signing bonuses, which is it was a lot, people. It was a long time ago. Remember, I'm vintage. I was not. I wasn't hired. And it took me a few years to reflect back and understand why. All of my friends, where's Mike Hopkins? Where is he? My one college friend comes around. I got one college friend. He's the best. He owns Brooks Stevens. He's awesome. We've stayed in touch. We have whiskey. What I realized after was all of my college friends had inherited a professional network from their parents. I did not. So I've made it my life's work to build one. Why? Because fuck you. So, after I sold Sprinkler, I took some time off, and I thought, how do I give back to Milwaukee? How do I give back to a city that embraced this kid from zero? All my ideas. And that's why I started Experience Milwaukee. There's some other reasons. We have, my wife and I, we had a little strategy going on. But it was my way to give back. Build a platform to tell the stories, bring people together, build up this community, talk about the positive that's happening. Talk about the people who own businesses like this that are the fabric of how you all experience Milwaukee. It was important to me. And so, there's advice in here, I guess. I'm not going to call out advice all the time, but if you're you can't always be telling people you're mentoring them. Sometimes you got to be secretive in the cafe. They don't know what's going on. So I wasn't supposed to be here. But the evictions, the fights, eventually the kid that used to chase me in elementary school, it was enough one day. So I chased him back up, and he ran up the stairs, and my mom had to pull me off this guy, like Ralphie and whatever. Yeah, so, but it was always fuel for this. It was all fuel for how I show up to bring anything I have for whoever will accept it. And that's mentoring. So, couple of mentoring thoughts. At first I thought, how do I do a whole talk about the theme of mentor without saying the word mentor at all? I tried. And I'm like, well, I kind of have to do it. It's going to be on the site. You got to kind of get paid by the sponsors and all that. So, of course, mentoring is leading by example. I learned this from Robin Yount, best baseball player of all time. Former Milwaukee Brewer. Do it on the field. Show people the way. Telling them to do shit doesn't work, kids. I'm talking to you. I'm going to be muttering in this cafe. To me, mentoring is creating platforms, creating space. My goal is to help people figure out their stuff the way they want to and the way they work. Mentoring is reciprocation. We give to each other. We bring value every day. We work together. You hear that? I love these kids. Here's the reality section. Sprinkler was really hard. Experience Milwaukee has been really hard. This cafe has been really hard. I tell people, I've started companies. I have 4 kids, been married twice. This is the hardest shit I've ever done in this cafe, by far. And the most valuable professional work I've ever done, most fulfilling. But I remember that Las Vegas night and other nights, sitting on the couch, staring out the window, just wondering how I was going to make payroll. I remember one time I think I was putting you to bed, Lucy, and your sheet ripped. And I'm like, oh my, how am I going to buy a new sheet? What am I going to do? 3 weeks in to running this cafe, I thought we were done. I called Jalem, and I said, Jalem, I don't know if I can do this. You know what Jalem said to me? Jalem's the CEO of Wantable, the company. You know what he said to me? This is the stuff no one talks about entrepreneurship. These are the moments no one brings up. And I am here to help you. You tell me how. And I have some ideas. That's mentoring. So, here we are, people. The end of this spiel. And I do have one little just observation to share. It was last month, that I decided to stop in at X-Ray Arcade and check out the CreativeMornings that day. It was probably mostly because it was like in a bar. It's kind of cool. You can get a beer or something. But I listened to Samer's talk. It was super inspiring. And a week after, as I said, he was in here taking photos. I noticed him. And I saw him in a different light because of his story. And I had to go and say hello. And we've been, ironically, we've been friends on Facebook for years, and we've only met, this month and last month in person. But I don't go on Facebook anymore, so. And it made me think, not everyone gets this stage. Not everyone wants this stage, but we all can see each other in a new light. So, love you, Milwaukee. Wait, hang on. I was good, because we got a rock star here today, Newski. I was gonna do all this off the stage stuff and wait for an encore and wait for you to cheer, not turn on the house music yet. Come back out. Oh, thank you, everybody. I know you want a little bit more, so here we go. But I did want to say one last thing. Everyone who has asked me about this talk has had the same question. Guesses? Who's your mentor? It's back here somewhere. No, whiskey is not totally my mentor. My wife here used to work at Northwestern Mutual, and there was a happy hour one night, and she goes to the happy hour. And she's just sitting down, doing her thing, having a bourbon old fashioned. And the chief communications officer from Northwestern Mutual walks by and says, "Oh, what are you drinking?" "Bourbon old fashioned." "You like bourbon?" "I sure do, Joe." "Oh, shit. I sure do." He stops and talks to her for 40 minutes in a happy hour where everyone wants time with him. And they talk bourbon. She comes home and says, "Thank you. Thank you." And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Oh, happy hour? "Thank you for your obsession with bourbon. It gave me 40 minutes of talk time with the chief communications officer from Northwestern Mutual." So I said, "You're welcome. I'll be right back." Get on my laptop, open LinkedIn, send him a message, because I learned in what she shared that he commutes from Kansas City. His whole bourbon collection is in Kansas City, not in his apartment in Milwaukee where he stays when he's working here. "Hey, Joe, heard you met my wife. I'm going to send a gift to work tomorrow, a bottle of whiskey." He messages me back and says, "Thanks." It was in the morning, and it was, "Dude, like, how much do I owe you?" I'm like, "Joe, you don't owe me anything. It's for you." He said, "Let's get dinner." Of course. We got dinner a couple weeks later, and we've gotten dinner every other month or so for 3 years because of whiskey. That's my path. We all have a path. We all have a talent. We all have something probably less, wake up late in the morning related. But Joe couldn't be here today. NM's annual meeting starts Sunday. He's got travel stuff. Here's what I wanted to do. Everyone scream on the count of 3, "Thank you, Joe." Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Joe! We love you, buddy. All right. And one last, this whole setup, everything, Paul in the back. Paul, raise your hand now. Now he's red. Now he's good. Paul was here late last night with me setting this up. Thank you, buddy. You're the best. I think we moved faster because we were here and working, and then we went to Great Lakes and had a whiskey, and then we came back and set it all up, and it was like, yeah, it's all done. Cool. That's really the time Annie comes up at the end here. Oh, yeah. And then, we might have another Newski. Something. All right, Newski, where are you? Come up here, buddy.
Everyone say, no, not yet. Everyone say, "Thank you, Steve."
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Round of applause. Thank you so much. All right. Everyone say, "Thank you, Adobe." Thank you, Megan. This is Megan, everyone. She is, what's your title?
Senior Community Events Manager.
Senior Community Events Manager at Adobe, corporate. She has a special gift for us today.
Hi, everyone. Also, shout out to Steve and Sprinkler. I actually used to live in Milwaukee and definitely went to their meetups way back in the day. So it does expand. I am now in California working at Adobe. We are going to do a Creative Cloud giveaway. So Annie's going to get me a name of one of you lucky attendees, and I will email someone with a 1 year of Creative Cloud subscription. Just another quick shout out. We have some postcards around. We have a creative apprenticeship program that is an opportunity to mentor and give back. And if you're just starting your design career, an opportunity to get paired with a professional mentor along with a lot of other career resources. So please check that out on the postcards around. It's a great program, and we are very proud and excited about it. Thank you all, and thank you, Annie. Shout that out.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you to our volunteer team. I know we're over time, but stay because it's worth it. Thank you to our volunteer team. We had them raise their hands earlier. And thank you to our community partners. Like I said, volunteer-led. We could not be here without our partners. Wannable Cafe, thank you, Brett Newski, for being here today. Experience Milwaukee, he donated all of our speaker equipment. Milwaukee, you guys notice something different around here? The people who've come back to Creative Mornings, do you see it? Do you see what I see? The pop-up signs? How amazing are those? We had a few volunteers design those, and Milwaukee printed those. Olivia, major props. Thank you to Allie and Caroline, our illustrators, those little illustrative recaps. They do those. I love those so much. Justin, he knows how much I love him. I think he's uncomfortable by it. Thank you so much for being here. Cream City Dreams, podcast Megan, thank you so much. Star and Petal for the beautiful flowers. And then photographers here, we have Holly Schisler, who took Steve's portrait. We have W Photography. Kat is taking pics of the event today. And of course, Jeff from Terra Alta by his pottery. He's a financial sponsor. Thank you so much, Jeff. All right. Thank you for joining us.